What if the key to unlocking deeper sleep and awakening higher states of consciousness has been hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to discover it? Imagine closing your eyes at night, not just to rest, but to enter a journey that could transform the way you see reality itself. What if sleep was not the end of your day, but the beginning of your awakening? This is not just another video about relaxation or common meditation tips. Tonight, we are stepping into a path that Jacobo Grinberg, the mysterious Mexican scientist and visionary, dedicated his life to exploring. His research suggested that the human mind is far more powerful than we've been told, and that meditation, when practiced with intention, can open doors that most people never even realize exist. Doors that not only bring peace and healing to your sleep, but also lead to a secret sequence of inner stages of awakening that connect you with the very fabric of reality. By the end of this video, you will not only learn how to meditate in a way that calms your restless nights, but you will also uncover Jacobo's idea of the 5 hidden stages of spiritual awakening. These stages are rarely spoken about, even in mainstream spiritual teachings. They describe a map, a secret architecture, of how your consciousness evolves as you surrender to silence and allow awareness to expand. So why should you keep watching until the very end? Because most people who try meditation for sleep stop at relaxation. They calm the body, maybe drift off faster, and that's all. But Jacobo believed that sleep is more than just recovery. It is a gateway, a sacred threshold, where your everyday mind dissolves and your deeper self has the chance to rise. And if you know how to guide your awareness across this threshold, you can begin to experience the stages that lead to true awakening. Think about this. Millions of people close their eyes every night, slipping into unconsciousness, unaware that in those very moments they are passing through layers of consciousness that could change everything. Jacobo's work revealed that within those layers lies a hidden potential, the ability to touch the unified field of reality he called the lattice. Very few have even heard of this, and fewer still have tried to explore it. But tonight, you will. This is not only about better sleep, it's about awakening the hidden observer within you. It's about touching the silence behind thoughts, the stillness beyond dreams, the awareness that remains even when the body rests. If you stay with me until the end, you will see how these 5 stages reveal themselves, one after the other, like secret doorways opening inside your mind. Each stage brings you closer to what Jacobo called the source of consciousness itself. And here's the truth. You might have already touched these stages without realizing it. A fleeting sense of stillness before sleep. A dream so vivid it felt real. A moment of awareness floating between waking and resting. These are not accident. They are signs that your brain already holds the key. All you need now is to understand the map Jacobo left behind and learn how to walk it with awareness. So, if you are ready to experience meditation, not as a simple tool for sleep, but as the beginning of a hidden journey toward awakening, stay with me. Because what you are about to hear could shift the way you fall asleep tonight and the way you wake up tomorrow. Welcome to Awakened Synchronicity. If you find value in exploring these hidden teachings and want to keep unlocking the wisdom of Jacobo Grinberg, make sure you subscribe to the channel and join us as we uncover truth that most people never dare to explore. Before we talk about the hidden stages of awakening, we need to face something very real and very common in our daily lives: the struggle with sleep. Almost everyone at some point has felt the frustration of lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, waiting for rest that never comes. Some people manage to fall asleep, but wake up again in the middle of the night, restless, their minds racing with thoughts. Others do sleep through the night, yet when morning comes, they feel heavy, tired, as if they had not slept at all. This cycle repeats, draining energy, weakening focus, and leaving behind a sense of constant exhaustion. Modern solutions often promise quick fixes. Doctors recommend pills, supplements, or rigid sleep hygiene routines. Dim the lights, Avoid screens, set a schedule, lower the temperature of your room. These suggestions can help, but how often do they truly solve the problem? For many, the restlessness remains. Pills may force the body to shut down, but they rarely bring true restoration. Instead, they dull the mind, leaving a fog that lingers long after waking. The deeper cause, the storm of thoughts, the hidden tension in the nervous system, the unbalanced rhythm of inner life, remains untouched. This is where meditation becomes more than just a practice of relaxation. It becomes a doorway. Jacobo Grinberg believed that meditation does not simply quiet the body. It reorganizes consciousness itself. When you sit in silence and focus your awareness, you are not just preparing to rest. You are entering a different mode of being, one that allows the brain and the heart to return to their natural rhythm. And it is in this natural rhythm that true sleep begins. Think about how sleep normally works. You close your eyes and slowly your mind drifts. But in our modern lives, this natural descent is interrupted. The noise of the day echoes in the mind, unresolved worries, unfinished tasks, endless distractions. Instead of falling gently, the mind clings, resists, and repeats. This is why even when the body tries to rest, the mind refuses to let go. Jacobo understood this resistance. He saw that our ordinary way of living, full of stress and overstimulation, blocks the natural connection between the conscious and unconscious mind. Meditation is a way to restore this bridge. When you meditate before sleep, something subtle happens. The restless chatter begins to dissolve. The heart rate slows, the breath deepens, and the brain shifts into patterns that resemble the early stages of sleep. But unlike sleep, meditation allows you to stay aware. At least at first, you remain present as the body begins its descent into rest. This is the hidden gift, because in this in-between state, where you are not fully awake and not fully asleep, your consciousness can expand. You can witness the very process of falling into silence. Jacobo's vision was that meditation, practiced with intention, not only prepares you for a more peaceful sleep, but also trains you to recognize the layers of your own consciousness. Where most people see only darkness when they close their eyes, meditation reveals movement patterns of thought, flickers of imagery, sensations rising and fading. By staying present with these, you begin to unlock a dimension of awareness that is usually hidden. And once you are familiar with this hidden dimension, your nights change. Sleep becomes deeper, yes, but more than that, it becomes meaningful. Consider this. Every night, without realizing it, you pass through states of consciousness far more mysterious than the waking mind. Dreams, half-dreams, and the silent spaces between them are not just accidents of the brain. They are stages, portals into the deeper nature of reality. Most people never notice because they slip into sleep unconsciously. But meditation allows you to carry a small flame of awareness into these hidden states. It gives you the chance to experience what Jacobo called the expansion of consciousness. So when we speak of insomnia, fatigue, or poor sleep, the problem is not just medical, it is also spiritual. It is the disconnection from the natural rhythm of consciousness. Pills may quiet the body, but they cannot awaken the mind. Sleep hygiene may set the stage, but it cannot teach the spirit to rest. Meditation, however, can do both. It calms the physical and opens the spiritual. It is both a science of the brain and a path of the soul. And this is why when we talk about falling asleep, we must also talk about awakening, because in Jacobo's view, these two are not separate. The same practice that helps you rest more deeply also carries you closer to the hidden reality beyond appearances. The same meditation that heals your sleepless nights can also guide you through the stages of awakening. This is where the ordinary problem of sleep transforms into an extraordinary opportunity, a chance to discover the vast potential of your own consciousness. Before diving into the secret stages of awakening, we need to understand what meditation really does to the body and mind, especially when it comes to sleep. Science has been studying meditation for decades, and the results are becoming clearer. When you practice meditation, something remarkable happens inside your nervous system. The stress pathways, the very circuits that keep you awake at night, begin to calm down. Cortisol, the stress hormone, lowers, the body shifts from fight or flight into rest and digest. Your heart rate slows, your breathing deepens, and brain activity moves away from the restless beta waves of daily stress into the slower, calmer rhythms that prepare the body for sleep. The Sleep Foundation has highlighted how meditation helps smooth this transition. Instead of tossing and turning, trapped in thought loops, your mind begins to let go. That chatter that normally floods your head when the lights go out, the to-do lists, the regrets, the random memories, it gradually quiets. Meditation doesn't force silence. It invites. By training your attention on something steady, like your breath or the rhythm of your body, you stop feeding the endless stream of thoughts. Over time, the brain learns to associate meditation with a calm descent into rest. But here's something important. Meditation is not the same as sleep. In meditation, you remain to a degree awake and aware. You're not unconscious. Your body may be deeply relaxed, but part of your awareness is still present, observing. That's why Muse, the brain-sensing headband company, explains that the brain activity during meditation shares qualities with both wakefulness and sleep, but is not identical to either. Meditation is like a bridge. You rest, but you don't vanish. You are here and not here, awake and yet drifting. And it's in this twilight space that the possibility of awakening begins. Scientific studies back this up. Research published by Oxford academics shows that people who meditate regularly tend to report better sleep quality and fewer insomnia symptoms. In fact, meditation can be as effective as some medical treatments, without the side effects. The Sleep Foundation also notes that meditation reduces nighttime awakenings and helps people fall asleep faster. This is not just a placebo effect. Studies show measurable changes in brain structures, such as thicker gray matter in areas tied to attention and emotional regulation in long-term meditators. In other words, the brain is literally reshaped by the practice. Yet for Jacobo Grinberg, these benefits, while important, were only the surface. He saw meditation not merely as a way to rest better, but as a path toward higher consciousness. His life's work blended neuroscience, shamanic traditions, and deep meditation practices. He believed that our ordinary perception of reality is limited, filtered, and incomplete. Through meditation, this filter could be loosened, even removed, revealing a hidden lattice of consciousness, a unified field where mind and matter are deeply connected. Jacobo studied indigenous shamans in Mexico and combined their wisdom with scientific approaches. What he found was that meditation was more than relaxation. It was a tool to pierce through the veil of ordinary perception. While modern science measured brainwaves and cortisol levels, Jacobo looked further. He asked, what happens to consciousness itself when we go beyond the surface of the mind? He believed that meditation could trigger stages of awakening, inner thresholds that the ordinary mind almost never crosses. This is where the secret 5 stages of awakening enter the picture. They are not just abstract concepts. They describe actual inner experiences you may notice as you move from wakefulness into sleep, guided by meditation. Each stage is like a doorway. You pass through one, then the next, and gradually the world you know begins to shift. The first stage is the gate of stillness. This is where everything begins. The mind, usually noisy and scattered, starts to settle. Thoughts come more slowly. The body relaxes. Breathing evens out. Many people never notice this stage because they fall asleep too quickly or remain distracted. But if you meditate before bed, you can feel it clearly. There's a moment when the restlessness breaks. The racing stops. Silence appears. This is the gate of stillness. In terms of sleep, it's the step that helps you drift into light sleep, or the hypnagogic state, the strange, dreamlike transition between wake and sleep. Jacobo would say that to linger here consciously is powerful. It's not about forcing thoughts away, but about letting them dissolve. Breath awareness, body scanning, or simply observing the rise and fall of your chest can guide you into this gate. The second stage is the threshold of awareness. Here something fascinating happens. You are not fully awake, but not yet asleep. You notice things you normally ignore. Faint inner sounds, flickers of light, subtle sensations across your skin, shifts in temperature, or even vibrations moving through your body. Some describe this as floating, others as a buzzing energy that surrounds them. This is the in-between place, the liminal space where your consciousness hovers between worlds. Meditation allows you to witness this space without slipping fully into unconsciousness. It is delicate, like walking a tightrope. If you push too hard, you wake yourself. If you lose focus, you fall asleep. But if you remain gently aware, you cross the threshold. Stage 3 is the hidden observer. At this point, your awareness changes position. Instead of being inside your thoughts, you begin to observe them from a distance. It feels as if your mind has stepped back, watching everything unfold. The usual sense of "I am my thoughts" loosens. You realize you can exist separate from the constant voice in your head. This stage can be unsettling at first, but it is also liberating. Jacobo saw this as a bridge, a moment when identity becomes less rigid. You are no longer trapped in your personal narrative. You are the witness, detached, free. In sleep, this is where lucid dreams can emerge, because you are aware that you are experiencing something unreal while still in the dream state. The fourth stage is the void, or non-duality. This is one of the most mysterious stages. Here, distinctions begin to dissolve. Inner and outer lose their boundaries. The line between subject and object blurs. Time and space feel less relevant. Many describe this as a sense of emptiness, but not a cold emptiness, rather a vast, infinite openness. It is silence beyond silence. Some call it pure consciousness. In deep meditation, this state can last moments or hours, though it feels outside of time. In sleep, glimpses of this may arise in those dreamlike flashes, where you sense you are more than yourself, connected to something boundless. Jacobo considered this stage not just a psychological event, but a direct encounter with the underlying fabric of reality, the lattice itself. Although there is a fifth stage beyond these, even reaching the first four begins to transform your experience of both sleep and waking life. Each stage reflects a deeper layer of consciousness unfolding. They are not separate from sleep, but intertwined with it, hidden behind the ordinary act of closing your eyes at night. Where science measures relaxation and reduced stress, Jacobo offered a map of consciousness, a way to navigate the inner terrain that lies just beneath the surface of our nightly rest. When you put this all together, you begin to see meditation as more than a technique for relaxation. Science shows it calms the nervous system, lowers heart rate, and improves sleep quality. Technology like Muse demonstrates how brain patterns shift in meditation, balancing between wake and rest. Studies from Oxford and the Sleep Foundation prove that regular practice reduces insomnia and restores deep sleep. But Jacobo Grinberg's vision stretches further. For him, meditation was the key to stages of awakening, secret thresholds that ordinary awareness passes through each night unseen. By learning to enter them consciously, you do more than rest. You awaken to the deeper reality hidden within and around you. Stage 4 is known as the void, or non-duality, and it is unlike anything you have encountered before. Up until now, the journey through stillness, awareness, and the observer has been about noticing, witnessing, and gently loosening the grip of the mind. But in the fourth stage, something radical occurs. The lines that normally divide your world begin to vanish. There is no clear boundary between inner and outer. The sense of me observing something else dissolves. Subject and object, seer and seen, all melt into one experience that is impossible to separate. For some, this state feels like emptiness, but not a hollow emptiness. It is an infinite openness, like floating in a vast sky that has no end. For others, it carries the quality of timelessness. You do not know if seconds or hours are passing because the usual markers of time are gone. It can also feel like pure consciousness itself, awareness without content, just being. This is why mystics across traditions have spoken of silence, the void or the ground of all reality. Jacobo Grinberg described it as an encounter with the lattice, the underlying fabric of consciousness that sustains everything. This stage is not easily reached. It demands surrender, not effort. If you try to cling to it, it slips away. If you chase it, you push it further. It comes when the observer lets go of even the act of observing. What remains is pure presence. Some people glimpse it in deep meditation, when the mind becomes so still that awareness shines by itself. Others brush against it in dreamlike states, when the dream collapses and you sense something beyond. The void does not belong to waking, sleeping, or dreaming. It exists in between, and it can touch you at any time if you are open. And then comes stage 5, integration and return. This is the point where consciousness begins to come back into ordinary awareness, but something is forever changed. You cannot pass through the void and return as exactly the same person you were before. Even if the glimpse was brief, it leaves a mark. In integration, the insights and the silence you encountered are carried back into your daily life. It is as if you bring a drop of that infinite space back into the world of time and tasks. This stage is vital, because awakening is not meant to be an escape. It is not about running away from life or hiding in meditation forever. Jacobo's view was that awakening is about embodiment, living your ordinary life but with extraordinary awareness. You still wake up, work, speak, eat, and rest, but you do it with a new depth. The sense of separation is softer. The noise of the mind has less control. Even when challenges arise, the memory of the void lingers, reminding you that beyond all appearances, there is unity. To make this journey real, you can combine meditation with your nightly sleep routine. The process does not need to be complicated. It begins with preparing a quiet, dim space where your body feels safe. You settle down, perhaps lying on your back or sitting comfortably. Then you start with simple meditation, focusing on the breath, scanning through the body, and allowing tension to dissolve. As thoughts arise, you let them pass like clouds. There is no rush. You move gently, without trying to force the stages. If sleep comes before you consciously move through them all, that is fine. Falling asleep during meditation is not failure. In fact, it means you have already allowed the first gates of stillness to open. The more you practice, the more you may find yourself hovering in those liminal states longer, aware of the thresholds without losing consciousness completely. When you wake up the next morning, take a moment to recall any impressions. Was there silence, imagery, vibrations, or a sense of openness? Write them down. These subtle signs are how the journey leaves its footprints in your memory. It is also important to keep expectations realistic. These stages are not prizes to collect or achievements to boast about. Forcing them will only create frustration. The path requires consistency, patience, and a willingness to surrender. Some nights you may feel nothing. Other nights you may suddenly notice a profound shift. Both are part of the process. The key is to keep showing up, letting the practice unfold naturally. With time, the benefits are undeniable. Sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. Instead of waking multiple times during the night, you may begin to rest through until morning. Even when you do wake, you might feel more refreshed. But beyond physical rest, there is also a change in your inner life. Meditation practiced in this way cultivates self-awareness. You begin to see your patterns more clearly during the day. You catch your reactions before they control you. There is more peace, more clarity, more space between you and your thoughts. Gradually, perception itself begins to shift. You walk through the same world, but it feels lighter, less burdensome. Of course, challenges are natural. The mind can be too restless, especially in the beginning. You may sit or lie down to meditate and find yourself caught in endless streams of thought. Or perhaps you drift off too quickly, falling asleep before awareness has a chance to expand. Doubt may creep in, wondering if the stages are real or if you are simply imagining things. Discouragement is part of the path. The way forward is to start small. Even 5 minutes of meditation before sleep can open the door. Keep a journal by your bed and write down what you experience, no matter how minor. Over time, patterns will emerge. You may notice that certain nights bring stillness more easily, or that certain practices help you hover at the threshold longer. When discouragement rises, revisit your notes and remind yourself of the progress you have made. The path is subtle, but it is real. As you continue, the 5 stages reveal themselves more clearly. Meditation supports better sleep, but it is not simply sleep. It is a conscious passage through layers of awareness. Science affirms its power to reduce stress and improve rest, but Jacobo Grinberg's insights reveal its deeper potential. The 5 stages he described show that meditation is not only about peace at night, but also about awakening to the true nature of reality. The practice is gentle, steady, and filled with curiosity. And with each return from the void, with each integration, you carry more of that hidden reality into your waking life. And now we arrive at the closing moment of this journey together. You've traveled with me through the 5 secret stages of awakening, as described in the teachings inspired by Jacobo Grinberg. And along the way, we've uncovered how meditation can transform not only the way you sleep, but also the way you awaken to life itself. The truth is, these stages are not far away, hidden in some unreachable dimension. They are here, waiting within you every night when you close your eyes. The only difference is that most people pass through them unconsciously, never realizing the power and beauty hidden in their own mind. Tonight, I want to give you a simple invitation. Before you go to bed, take just a few minutes to try a short meditation. You don't need anything special. You don't need to master advanced techniques. All you need is a quiet space, a willingness to sit or lie down, and the curiosity to see what happens. Begin by focusing on your breath. Notice the rhythm as it enters and leaves your body. With each exhale, imagine yourself letting go of the weight of the day. Allow your body to relax, part by part. This is the beginning of the third stage, the gate of stillness. It may feel subtle, but if you pay attention, you'll notice how the mind starts to slow down, how the body begins to sink into comfort. From there, let yourself drift gently into the second stage, the threshold of awareness. This is that delicate space between wakefulness and sleep. You may notice inner sounds, flickers of light behind your eyelids, or subtle vibrations. Instead of dismissing them, allow yourself to observe with gentle curiosity. You don't need to hold on. You don't need to control. Simply witness and let the process unfold. If you fall asleep, that's perfectly fine. Sleep itself is part of the journey, and every time you practice, you are teaching your mind and body to enter these stages with more awareness. As you experiment with this practice, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, which stage resonated with you the most? Did you feel the stillness? Did you notice the threshold? Or perhaps you even glimpsed something beyond, a sense of detachment, a moment of silence deeper than silence. Every person's experience is unique, and by sharing your journey, you not only help yourself reflect, but also inspire others who are walking the same path. And this is only the beginning. In our next video, we'll go even deeper into guided practice so you can experience these stages more vividly. We will focus on specific techniques that help you stabilize awareness at the threshold and even touch the state of the hidden observer. If tonight was about opening the door, the next step will be about learning to walk through it with greater clarity and confidence. So, before you leave, I have 2 simple requests. First, If this video brought you value, if it sparked curiosity or gave you a tool you can use tonight, please give it a like. That one small click helps this message reach more people who may be searching for peace in their sleep and awakening in their lives. Second, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Awaken Synchronicity. This community is about more than videos. It's about a shared journey toward unlocking the hidden potential of consciousness. By subscribing, you ensure you don't miss the next step, the next teaching, the next opportunity to expand your awareness. Remember, every night is a new chance. When you close your eyes tonight, don't just think of sleep as an escape from the day. Think of it as the beginning of your awakening. The stages are already within you. All it takes is awareness to bring them to light. So tonight, try the practice. Share your experience, and take that first step toward a deeper connection with yourself and the reality beyond. This is your invitation. The journey has already begun.